Lighting the fuse for freedom. TNT Radio.
Welcome back to Joseph Arthur's Technicolor Dreamcast. I'm here with Brad Skistimis from 5 Times August. I was talking to a friend, Brad, and he said, yeah, did you see his latest one? What's it called? Gates Behind the Bars? I was like, yeah. He said, wow, I got over 1 million views, and then all of a sudden he gets kicked off of Bandcamp. I hadn't correlated those two things happening, but I wonder if that spun that on or spurned it on, however you'd say that. I mean, what do you think?
So basically what happened on Bandcamp was back in, I guess, last month, I log on to Bandcamp one morning and I'm logged out, like I don't exist at all. It's like 5 Times August does not have a Bandcamp page. Like my email is wiped out, my entire catalog, and I had been on the website for like 10 years. And I'm like, what? And so like, I give them the benefit of the doubt because I like Bandcamp. I like what it has to offer, but I never had any communication with their support team or anything. I just used the platform. So I reach out to them in numerous ways and I don't hear back anything. And I'm like, well, that sucks. So in the meantime, I try to re-register my page and I get the domain back, 5timesaugust.bandcamp.com. And I'm like, okay, so I'm just starting over. And I kind of like, it's just really weird. And so I don't hear anything back from them. And then a few weeks later, Tim Pool posts that he's been removed from Bandcamp. And he had like a few songs up there. I think he had like 3 singles. And he's like, hey, Bandcamp, you know, what's going on here? Hopefully it's a misunderstanding. And that's what I did at first. I was like, hopefully this is just a misunderstanding. I don't know why they would do that, just delete you without warning. And is because that's the thing, is that there was just nothing. It was just, you try to log in and then there's nothing, no warning, no emails or anything. So I posted underneath Tim's post about it on Twitter. I was like, hey, this happened to me too. Lo and behold, I found Bryson Gray had been kicked off the platform a few days after one of his releases. There's a guy on Twitter called Foundring who he lost his account last year, and he does sort of these piano parodies of political talk.
I think I saw
stuff.
One. Yeah, on your page. You posted one. I saw it.
Yeah, I've shared some of his stuff. And so, you know, there's a reoccurring theme here, is that we all have sort of a political slant to what we're saying. You know, it goes against the narrative of the mainstream narrative. And so you put these pieces together, and I started looking into it more, and I found other artists from several years back that had been removed from the platform, and every one of them had the same story, where it was, I tried to log in one day, my stuff was just gone, no warning, reached out to Bandcamp, nobody wrote back, no communication whatsoever. And then the kicker of it all is that, and this is where it's really messed up, is that our like Timcast's fans, my fans, people that actually bought our music can't access it anymore. So if, you know, essentially Bandcamp has stolen back the music that people have paid for. And so how we got there, I don't know. You know, maybe somebody at Bandcamp saw something that I posted and was like, hey, wait a minute, he's on our site, I don't like this guy. And but clearly there's a pattern in the kind of, you know, content that does get removed. And that's a scary thing. And it's something that's not really being talked about much in the censorship discussion, which is the censorship of art. You know, we have the doctors getting censored. We have debates over information and data all the time. And that's one thing. But now we have
art is another.
Art is now being censored, and that is like insane. That's a really dangerous territory to be walking into, because it's so 1984 and Orwellian that you could have people interpreting art for you and deciding what you're allowed to see, you know?
Yeah, no, it's on another level, actually. I really believe that, because it's just so bizarre as well for Bandcamp to do that in a way too, because to me it's sort of, I don't know, endangers their platform. It's harder to want to invest your time and energy as a songwriter into a platform that you know will just remove people, and you remove people with big followings like you and Tim Pool, and I don't know, these other people you mentioned, Bryson, I guess probably is big too. It should be more of a story, though. I noticed that it hasn't sort of, or I haven't seen much tell out of it since you posted on it. I'm surprised Tim Pool's not sort of going more ham on it. Maybe he is. It's not like I've been watching his show every day or something. So, but I would think that this would get a lot of publicity, because it is very disturbing. Yeah, just the nature of art. You want freedom there.
Yeah, and it's I think Tim is discussing a class action suit for fans that have lost their music, because I think there is something there. I mean, that's pretty messed up to, you know, because here is the kicker with that situation is if you bought my music and you logged in, what you would get is a message that says, for example, Silent War by 5 Times August is no longer available. Please reach out to 5 Times August for more information. So they're redirecting you back towards the artist, and it wasn't even the artist who removed the music, it was them. So that's more
doubly messed up. Yeah, that's doubly messed up because they make it, they're blame shifting as well. This is like classic, you know, narcissism. One of the tenets of narcissism is blame shifting, and that's what that message does. Have you had any connection with Bandcamp, any explanation at all at this point?
No, I was basically hounding their Twitter feed the week that we got a little bit of press. Tim did, which I was tied to because we were sort of both going through the same thing at the same time. So it was Timcast and 5 Times August had been removed from Bandcamp. So like last week, we had a lot of our fans go into their Twitter feed, and I was hounding them a little bit, saying, you know, what's up? And the only response that I've received from them was that they blocked me on Twitter for like a day or two, and then they unblocked me. So it's just really weird, because it's like, okay, I know you see what I'm saying, but you're just refusing to acknowledge it. Like the block was the admission that you have now seen my inquiry as to why you would take these actions, and now you're just ignoring it. So which going back to the South by Southwest conversation from earlier, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to peek in. That was the main reason why I wanted to peek into the conference center, was to see if Bandcamp had a table, which they didn't. But I wanted to track them down while I was in town and ask them face to face, because they seem to be very good at just completely ignoring their artists and users. So yeah, it's messed up, but not too much press from it. You know, you'd think that Rolling Stone or something would be, you know, all over it, but even that's another, you know, rag magazine. They actually did a feature on Bandcamp a few days ago about how Bandcamp is unionizing, but they probably won't do a feature on some, you know, non-progressive art, anti-establishment art, which is the state of rock and roll right now, is that you can't get Rolling Stone to write an article on anti-establishment music.
Today's News Talk Radio, TNT.